Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to the conversation. And today I got a really dope video for you guys, and I haven't really seen it before. So the topic is Kawhi Leonard an NBA Dynasty killer? So that's what I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already, and hit the subscribe button because we're trying to get to 5,000 subs as soon as possible. So please make sure you go ahead and do that and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content so you don't miss anything. So with the playoffs fastly approaching, I think we're going to see a lot of great basketball, and it had me thinking, because always listen to ESPN and Fox Sports, they talk about the Lakers and LeBron James every single day, it seems, and this is the reason why I have no problem, no regret talking about Kawhi Leonard as much as I do, because you rarely hear them cover any other player except LeBron. So excuse me, I think there are other players in the NBA. He's my favorite basketball player, so I'm going to talk about him. If you think it's too much that we're talking about Kawhi, then go watch ESPN. That's just how I feel about it, because I don't see people commenting on their videos saying why they post so much about that. So don't say nothing like that to us, please, because the internet is a pretty big space, so you guys have the freedom to listen to who you want to listen to. So back to the topic here, talking about, is Kawhi Leonard a dynasty killer? Now, I think when I asked this question, a lot of you guys' thoughts started to bubble in your mind and say, is he actually a dynasty killer? Well, let me just say this before I make my argument. Kawhi Leonard has the highest winning percentage of any basketball player ever. He's won 75.3% of all of the games that he's played. Now, if we look at his career accomplishments, he's only been playing for 8 seasons. But let's see what he's accomplished in these 8 seasons. In these 8 seasons, he's won 2 NBA championships. He's been a 2-time Finals MVP winner. So not only did he win championships, he was a part of he was probably the main reason that they won those championships. He's been a 4-time NBA All-Star. He's been, he won the NBA All-Star MVP award just last season in a befitting fashion. The Kobe Bryant Award was the first time, it was the first award, and just befitting that he was one of the players that Kobe took under his wing, and he won that award of, the Kobe Bryant Award. So I thought that was befitting. And he's been a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year winner, and he led the league in steals in 2015. Now, if we look at his team this season, the LA Clippers are currently the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. And if you listen to a lot of people like Nick Wright and others, well, Nick Wright especially, he's counting out the Clippers, and he's even said that they're probably the 3rd team, best team behind the Houston Rockets. Only Nick Wright knows how he comes up with these how he makes his assumptions or whatever it is. But that's what Nick Wright seems to think. A lot of us out here also think that the Clippers are the best team in the NBA, season this year, and they're most likely going to win the NBA championship. Now, let's talk about the dynasties that Kawhi Leonard has had a part of in destroying. First of all, let's talk about the Miami Heat. Who was on the Miami Heat championship teams? Well, first of all, that Miami Heat championship teams went to the NBA Finals from 2000. They went to the finals in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. Now, who were the marquee players on those teams? Meaning, who were the all-stars on those teams? He was playing against LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Now, who's LeBron James? Well, it turns out that LeBron James is a 3-time NBA champion, a 3 times Finals MVP, a 4-time regular season MVP winner, a 16-time All-Star, a 3-time All-Star Game MVP winner. He's been on 5 All-First defensive teams, been on 6 All-NBA defensive teams. He led the league in scoring, I think, in 2008, and he was the Rookie of the Year in 2004, and he's one of the top 10 greatest players of all time, depending on who you ask. Probably one of the top 5 greatest NBA players of all time, and some people still consider him to be the best player in the world today. That was one of the people he was playing against. Who was another person he played against? He played against Dwayne Wade. Now, who is Dwayne Wade? It seems like a lot of the viewing public, we don't talk about Dwayne Wade a lot, but Dwayne Wade is the 3rd greatest shooting guard behind Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. He's a 3-time NBA champion. He's a Finals MVP winner, had one of the greatest playoff history runs ever. He's a 13-time NBA All-Star. He won the All-Star Game MVP in 2010. He's been on 2 All-First NBA teams, 3 All-Second NBA teams, on 3 third. So he's been on 8 All-NBA teams. He's been on 3 All-Defensive Second NBA teams. He led the league in scoring in 2009. Then, who else did he play against? He played against Chris Bosh, who was a part of the Heatles, so to speak. He's a 2-time NBA champion. He's been an 11-time All-Star. He's been on one All-Second NBA team. He's been on an All-Rookie NBA team before, and we know that he's a future Hall of Famer. So, in the first dynasty that Kawhi Leonard had a major hand in destroying, he was playing against 3 future Hall of Famers in Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade. I think all of us can assume that without a shot of a doubt that Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James are going to go into the Hall of Fame. And if not Chris Bosh, at least LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, although I think Chris Bosh is also going to make it in there. So he was playing against 3 future Hall of Famers. Now, some of you may say, well, Kawhi Leonard was playing with Tim Duncan, and he was also playing with Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. Fair enough. Although they were at the tail end portions of their career, and they were much older, and Kawhi Leonard was sort of slowly starting to hand over the keys of that organization to Kawhi Leonard. Fair enough. So who was the second championship dynasty that Kawhi Leonard was able to destroy? Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors, who went to the NBA championship 5 years in a row in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and they won 3 out of their 5 NBA championship appearances. Now, it's fair to say those 2 championships that they won back-to-back, Kevin Durant was there, and he was the Finals MVP. But in this case, because Kawhi Leonard didn't play against Kevin Durant for all of except maybe 1 quarter in, I think, Game 6 or Game 5 it was. So I'm going to exclude him from this argument because he didn't play against KD. Now, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry. Well, who is Stephen Curry? Stephen Curry is a 3-time NBA champion, 2-time regular season MVP winner, 1-time unanimous MVP winner, a 6-time NBA All-Star. He's been on 5 All-NBA teams. He's led the league in scoring in 2016. He led the league in steals in 2016. And he's part of the 50-40-90 club, shooting 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. 40% from the three-point line and 90% from the free throw line. And he's done that, I think, he's done that more than 1 time. And a lot of people, consider Stephen Curry to be the greatest shooter in the history of the NBA. But who was his running mate? He played against Klay Thompson, who's also going to be a future Hall of Famer, who's a 3-time NBA champion. He's been a 5-time All-Star. He's been on 3 All-NBA teams. And he's led the NBA. He won the 3-point shooting contest in 2016. And he's one of the Golden State Warriors that people don't appreciate as much. And of course, you have Draymond Green, who is also a Defensive Player of the Year, a 3-time NBA champion, and who's most likely by the time his career is over, because of his resume and accomplishments and the critical role he plays, because he's basically a Swiss Army knife. He does everything for the Golden State Warriors. He runs the offense, he plays defense, he sets screens, he sets picks. He does pretty much everything for that team, and he's the heart and soul, and he's the one that sort of ignites their competitiveness, especially from the defensive side of the ball, is Draymond Green. So he was able to stop that dynasty as well. Now, what's interesting about this is that when Kawhi Leonard played against the Golden State Warriors, I want you guys to name me another All-Star that he had on his team that was at the same level of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. There was no other All-Star. Kyle Lowry has known to be inconsistent in the playoffs all throughout the history of his playoff career. And Pascal Siakam, I think it was the first time I think he even became an All-Star that season. I think that year he even won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. So the season before, the guy was still developing. And that's who Kawhi Leonard was playing with in the NBA championship round against a team that had gone to 4 straight championships prior to that championship series. And he was able to take that team down in 6 games, of which Stephen A. Smith said could have a chance to be swept in the NBA Finals if Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson got hot, and he was still able to stop that team. Now, if we look at these two teams make up 9 NBA championship appearances if you combine their championship appearances over the last, let's say, 10 years or so, or 15 years. These two teams have been responsible for being in the finals 9 times if you combine them, and Kawhi Leonard has stopped both of these dynasties. Now, it's fair to say that LeBron James' Miami Heat also beat Kawhi Leonard when he was at the San Antonio Spurs, but I think there's no question in my mind that Kawhi Leonard is an NBA dynasty killer. The only thing Kawhi Leonard has yet to do was create his own dynasty, and he has a chance to do that with the Los Angeles Clippers beginning this season. So, what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me that Kawhi Leonard is an NBA dynasty killer, or do you completely disagree with me? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.